fight choreography, everyone's favorite theme it seems to be. And this was the challenge for the February monthly challenge in the Animator Guild community channel in our Discord group. The link is in the description. I'm gonna show you now the animations that were entered into this challenge. At the end of the video, the top 3, and they are really good, so make sure you stay until the end to see those top 3. All right, let's roll. So before I get into the top 3, I have a couple of honorable mentions that I just want to address here. Eric Rene Backer. Wow, this animation reads very well. It looks like you've used these 2 pre-existing assets in 3D. The way they move is very dynamic and pleasing to the eye. The swords have weight to them and they shift their momentum from one swing to another, which makes it feel very powerful and authentic and quite realistic. So I really like this animation, this little piece of animation that you've made for this. So this one is by Kemadibi or Semadibi, and while this is perhaps closer to being an animatic, it is the most interesting matchup of opponents. We've got this 2-on-2 fight between these futuristic versus these old school magician, wizards, witches, and I just think that's great stuff. This one, while it is still a rough animation with all the construction lines and things, it's very fun to watch this because there's a lot of cool moves mixed in there, quite a rapid pace, little sparring session. It's nice to see these characters with a smile on their face and having fun while they spar. I mean, it doesn't always have to be such a serious thing. It can be two characters who know each other and trust each other and are doing it recreationally. There's nothing wrong with that. This was really cool. Thank you for submitting that. Now, to people watching, do you see what adding sound effects does to the animation? It just levels it up, especially when we've got fight choreography. It adds that impact. That stood out to me here with the sound, and it's just also a very nice piece of fight animation. So that gets our second spot. I cheated with this one, I will admit. I could not decide between first and second place, so I've tied two entries at number one, and I'll explain why in a moment, but for now, let's roll it. So Retronus, the thing that really got me with this one, that really just immediately stood out to me, was the timing variations that you have. You have the bowman at the beginning do a very long, slow reach for the arrow and then quickly pull it back. And those differences in timing and the speed really were just so heightened, and it just made it so dynamic, and it was like a performance. It was a really great performance. Now, on top of that, we have interesting, fairly unique character designs with these that have all of the filigree. Is that a word? I don't know. They have interesting things that they're wearing, and just their overall look with the cell shaded dark patches. So they're partially in shadow a lot of the time, and just blacking out that shadow worked really well because now they're kind of like silhouettes. The sequence is very fun and detailed. The choreography, very inventive. I have seen some of those kind of moves before, but there's just something about it when those came together. It felt very unique and special to me. So I really like this entry, but I've tied it for first place with another entry that has perhaps different merits. So we're going to watch that one now. It's by Coprime. So let's play that one and see what you think. So Coprime, this was a great little action sequence you've made here in that shaded Ganga style. It reads very well, it moves very well, and it's very well rendered and well executed piece of animation that also has a narrative arc of sorts. So I feel like I've seen aspects of this kind of animation before in animators like Wayland Zhang. I'm sure that might have been an influence on you, especially the high heels and things gave away that influence, I suppose. Yeah, I like that ending shot where it's like a side view and you just see the high heel shoe, and he's just, maybe he's thinking to himself, how did I get defeated by someone in high heels? I don't know. And in some ways it kind of follows conventions. It follows anime conventions of cell shading, and I definitely think this would fit right in with within anime Gengar animations. Why could I not decide on the number one spot for this category? So I think both of these animations, one by Retronus and one by Coprime, I think they have different strengths. Retronus has this very unique special look and has a very stylized way of moving and a stylized designs that I think are just very special and very nice, and there's an overall appeal to the animation, but it doesn't have sound. and it also doesn't have the environment filled in. So it feels in some ways like maybe a work in progress. Whereas CodePrimes feels more finished, even though the characters aren't colored, and it also feels like things I've seen before. It feels like the works of animators that I've seen in anime. But it has sound design, and so there are aspects of it that feel more finished, that feel more immersive. So it was just sort of like, this one has this one has that. Very difficult to have one edge on top of the other, so I just put them both in first place. And I hope that's okay. That does it of the monthly challenge. That's all the entries we had for that month. And I would like for you to consider joining us on Discord. That's where these monthly challenges take place, as well as a lot of exchanging of information when it comes to 2D animation. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.